there are a few things that I want to discuss about the battery that I think are super important and that a lot of people aren't catching on to. What's going on, everyone? My name's Obi and welcome back to Courtside Financial. If you're new to the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button because NIO is very well documented on this channel, and also make sure you hit that like button because it really does go a long way in helping out the channel. When you open up your new brokerage account, you'll receive 2 free stocks. All new US investors will receive 4 total free stocks, including those 2 free stocks valued up to $3,700 when they make a deposit of $100. And lastly, cryptocurrency is now available on WeBull, so you can trade cryptocurrency with 0 commissions. Today we're going to be talking about NIO. It's currently 8:02 p.m. Eastern Time here in Michigan, and the stock is trading at $62.30, up 6.42% for the day and down 0.64% in the after hours. NIO Day was on Saturday. Shout out to everyone who woke up early at 4:40 a.m. And joined the live stream and live streamed it with me. So today we have to discuss it, and I also want to discuss the convertible notes that NIO announced at market close, so stay tuned to the end for that. As far as the 150 kilowatt hour battery, that's going to be something big that I talk about in this video as well. So the biggest takeaways for me from NIO Day was, of course, the announcement of the ET7, which was, of course, highly anticipated. The partnership with NVIDIA for autonomous driving, the 150 kilowatt hour battery, and then the battery swapping stations, the V2 of the battery swapping stations. So let's start with the battery swapping stations. It was announced on NIO Day that NIO had 177 battery swapping stations to date. They have somewhere north of 1 million battery swaps completed to date. That's an old number, so I'm sure it's way more than that, and maybe they said something during NIO Day that I wasn't paying attention to shortly. I'm sure they did. But anyways, NIO isn't the first to do battery swapping. They are just the first ones to have success with it and really popularize it. And NIO has also received a lot of support in China for their battery swapping stations via things like subsidies, partnerships with entities like the Hefei Charge, which is a government entity of the Hefei government in China, and State Grid partnering up with them to build swapping stations as well. On Saturday, they unveiled their V2 power swapping stations. These stations can complete 312 power swaps in 24 hours, which is about 4.6 minutes per swap if you divide that out through the 24-hour day. So also, these V2 power swapping stations can hold 14 batteries. 13 of those slots are going to be occupied with batteries, and 1 slot is going to be empty to replace the battery in whatever car is coming out. So NIO did tell us that by the end of 2020, they planned on having 1,000 power swapping stations across China. They severely missed this target, as I mentioned earlier. They only have 177 as of today, but also the pandemic might have something to do with that. And then another thing that I think about is, hey, they were thinking about rolling out this V2 power swapping station, so maybe they actually postponed that idea. But anyways, William Li did say that he did take ownership for this a while back. I believe it was in September or October. He said that we will not make that 1,000 battery swapping station target in 2020, but we do plan on meeting that target eventually. By the end of 2021, NIO wants to reach 500 power swapping stations. Currently, they're at 177. So they're supposed to make a lot more progress in that regard this year. So let's talk about the ET7 now, because I feel like this will kind of lead us on to some other things. It's been a long time coming for the ET7 if you've been following NIO for a while. In 2019, NIO had delayed plans to release its first sedan after a disastrous first quarter. NIO at this time had lost about $390 million in Q1 2019. So it's amazing to see how far that they actually came from that time. William Li at the time said that they will postpone the sedan until they release their new driving platform, which the ET7 will run on. So the release of the platform was one thing that was holding them up, aside from being cash strapped. So fast forward today and the ET7 is finally here. I have to say that I think the ET7 is a pretty sharp looking car. It's a Model S competitor and it will start at around $69K, and that is before subsidies. And of course, there's battery as a service, so you can lease the battery and buy the car, which can knock anywhere from 15 to 20% off of the overall upfront purchase price. Car can go 0 to 100 kilometers in about 3.9 seconds. And I'll talk about the range when I talk about the battery, because there are a few things that I want to discuss about the battery that I think are super important and that a lot of people aren't catching on to. But basically this car can get, with the 150 kilowatt hour battery, it can get about over 620 miles of range, 900 kilometers, whichever metric you prefer. But we'll get to the battery in a second. Now we're going to talk about the partnership with NVIDIA, because that kind of ties into the car and ties into NIO's full self-driving plans in the near term. So if you ever heard of Moore's Law, CPUs double in performance about every 2 years. NIO says that the NVIDIA Orin chip will be 7 times more powerful than Tesla's full self-driving chip that Tesla created in-house. Now, mind you, Tesla released this chip in 2019. Currently, we're in 2021. The NVIDIA Orin chip won't be in NIO vehicles until around 2023. So if Tesla's chip actually does follow Moore's Law, it will be less powerful than the NVIDIA Orin chip in 2023. But just like NVIDIA, Tesla is a very innovative company. That chip that they currently have was released in 2019. I do expect Tesla to release a chip that more than 2x's in performance over the next 2 to 3 years. So to actually say that NVIDIA's chip is 7 times more powerful, I do kind of look at that as a little bit of propaganda. There's too much of a time gap, and you shouldn't expect Tesla to remain stagnant in terms of performance. So moving forward to the 150 kilowatt hour battery, shout out to one of my subscribers, Vegan is the Future, for pointing this out. This is a detail that I don't think anybody's really talking about in regards to NIO's 150 kilowatt hour battery. So I actually did go in, thanks to your tip, and do my research. So like I said, NIO announced a solid state battery, 150 kilowatt hours, that could allow for 900 kilometers or 620 plus miles of range. Now, a lot of people are concerned because NIO used the words adopt, and they said that they will adopt this technology. So there's a lot of speculation that this battery will actually come from CATL. And I actually don't think that's the case here. And by the way, NIO outsources a lot of things, including their LiDAR that they announced, which I thought was a good idea with the 8 megapixel camera. But so does Apple. There's a bunch of businesses that run by outsourcing. There's a bunch of businesses that run by keeping everything vertically integrated in-house. If you think about Amazon, Amazon has everything in-house. If you think about Apple, a lot of the parts in your iPhone are outsourced. So it really just depends. Both business models can work out, but people are worried about CATL supplying these batteries to NIO's competition like Tesla, and maybe in the future Volvo or Volkswagen or who's ever making electric cars. But I don't think that this battery is going to come from CATL. Well, as my friend pointed out, back in 2019, NIO entered into a strategic partnership with a solid state battery company known as Prologium. Prologium focuses on lithium ceramic technology, and prior to having a partnership with NIO, they had a partnership with another Chinese-based EV manufacturer, Innovate. And also, Prologium is a Taiwanese company. So the article reads that it's unclear what NIO's partnership means for the partnership that Prologium has with Innovate, but whether this solid-state battery can be accomplished or not depends on the economic situation of NIO. Just reading between the lines, I'm assuming that there's some type of contractual agreement between NIO and Prologium. All the information about this deal is pretty obscure, and I wish they would talk more about that, but they'll probably talk more about that as we move into the future. I just can't wrap my head around why NIO would not protect a competitive advantage that they might be able to have. Now, mind you, this was in 2019. It's very possible that things have changed since then, but I don't think that this solid state battery is coming from CATL. I think it is more likely to come from Prologium, just hearing about what we've heard in the past. And obviously it was very experimental in 2019, and there's been a little bit of time that's passed by since then. I'm very curious to hear everyone's thoughts on this down below in the comments section, and I'll put the link to this article in the description as well so you can all read it for yourself. So that's everything that I wanted to talk about as far as NIO Day. I sat with the information for a while, and overall I thought it was positive. I don't see how anyone could take anything away from it. Today, NIO shared a proposal to release $1.3 billion in convertible notes. We talk about this all the time. Business as usual. Growth investing comes with dilution. Now, what's concerning for a lot of investors is that in December, they just completed a capital raise of around $3 billion. It was somewhere around 2.5 or 2.6, but when the underwriters did exercise their right to purchase an additional, I believe it was 10.2 million shares. So with that brought it to around $3 billion. So NIO, you just raised capital. Why are you raising capital again? The company says that they wanted to strengthen their balance sheet. And if the intention is to raise capital, it's better to raise capital when the share price is high than when the share price is low. So they're raising capital off the back of NIO Day. I'm not upset with them raising capital. I just wish there was a little bit more transparency on what the capital would be used for. But hey, I give NIO a little bit of money, they make me some money, and they come back and they ask me for more money and say, yeah, we need more money so that we can make you even more money. That's the whole concept of, raising capital. As long as you're putting the money back into the business and making it so that the business can expand, I'm never going to be mad at a capital raise. What I'm going to be mad about in a capital raise is when it's done at the wrong time, or when it's done for survival. And obviously that's a necessary evil when it's done for survival, because without the capital raise, the company could, go under or go bankrupt. So this is for growth. There's a lot of expansion coming for NIO in the future to Europe in terms of their business. They're getting into a lot of different things. So I'm not mad about it. Works out for me. I want to know what you guys also think about them raising this capital. It seemed to have reflected in the share price temporarily, but in the after hours we're at like 62, as I just mentioned at the beginning of this video. So who knows? But with convertible notes, you can always convert those notes to shares in the future. So that is going to cause a little bit of dilution. That's going to be it for this video. Make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you hit the subscribe button. Leave me a comment down below. I'll link the free Discord in the description. And as always, thanks for watching. I'll catch you guys in the next video.